What's going on, everybody? It's your observant lineman here, and this is kind of a peculiar story that we have coming out of Bleacher Report, and it's actually trending on Twitter as well. But Sean Peyton, the head coach of the New Orleans Saints, is getting a Netflix movie made about his time as the head coach of his kids' little league or high school football team, and it's called The Home Team. And, you know, it's funny that Sean Peyton has had a movie greenlit by Netflix about his time that he spent suspended out of the NFL for being involved in what has been well documented as Bountygate between him and Greg Williams. This was a situation where you had a defensive coordinator in Greg Williams who was actually putting bounties on players' heads during games for the players on defense. So, for instance, remember when Brett Favre was the quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings in the playoff game, and he played through that game and he was getting viciously beaten by this defensive line. He was taking all kinds of ridiculous shots, and more in particular, his ankle was basically broken. He was playing on a broken ankle that was targeted specifically by the New Orleans Saints, where they paid players to take him out by going after his ankle. They had done that throughout the course of the year, putting up money into a pool for players, for injuring guys on the field, for going out there and willfully injuring players. He was suspended from the NFL for an entire season. Him and Greg Williams, I believe they were fined like $500,000 by the NFL. Maybe I think they lost a couple of draft picks. But all in all, this basically destroyed the image of Sean Peyton, and it pretty much, well, close to destroyed the career of Greg Williams. And for full transparency, just so you guys know, Greg Williams was actually the defensive coordinator in Jacksonville for 1 year. When I was in Jacksonville, he was our defense coordinator. Now, we didn't have any situation, I believe, like the Saints did. Didn't really hear anything about guys being, paid bonuses for injuring people. And we didn't injure people on the field. I didn't notice any dirty play from our defensive players. We had Mike Peterson, we had Marcus Stroud, we had Big John Henderson, Rasheem Mathis. We had guys who were good defensive players. Never saw them taking any kind of dirty shots, chippy shots at guys. So I don't believe that was a situation that was dealt with really in Jacksonville. But when he got to New Orleans, the game clearly changed. But let's take a look at this article from Bleacher Report. Pretty bizarre situation, if I do say so myself. And I'm just kind of perplexed as to who at Netflix thought this was a good idea. Like, who really did think this is a good idea? And not only is he getting a movie, but Kevin James is going to play him in the movie. Like, this is beyond parody at this point to me. But let's go through the article. Kevin James to play Saints Sean Peyton in Home Team movie on Bountygate scandal. Sean Peyton will be portrayed on the silver screen as actor Kevin James in a new Netflix movie titled Home Team about the Saints Bountygate scandal. NBC Sports' Peter King shared the news Monday, noting that Peyton has recently made corrections to the script. He's a writer? And given the green light to the film. Well, okay. The Saints were accused of paying out bonuses to players who injured their opponents from 2009 to 2011. As a result, Peyton was suspended for the 2012 season, and other personnel within the organization, including general manager Mickey Loomis and assistant head coach Joe Vitt, were suspended for part of that year. While he was sidelined, Peyton coached his sixth grade son's youth football team. The film will be produced by Happy Madison Productions, Adam Sandler's company. Filming will begin this year. So, I mean, it's a short brief into this entire situation. But of course, as you know, the internet is undefeated. Let's see what Twitter has to say about the announcement of this. This is crazy. This is crazy. So Twitter has definitely stepped in on this. The internet remains undefeated as they come out with their replies, which only Twitter can provide. One reply here says, a feel-good story about a coach suspended for encouraging his players to intentionally injure others. WTF, they just going to brush over why he couldn't coach in the NFL that year? What a effing horrible movie. Literally the worst premise I've ever heard, ever. What is the actual benefit of having a movie about somebody who was involved in some fucked up shit, who then was punished for being a part of said fucked up shit, and then because he had nothing else to do because he couldn't work, he coached his kids' football team, and somehow we now see that as a good movie to make? He shouldn't be receiving, now almost 10 years later, financial, like, actual come-ups off of that. Like, now he's getting a come-up off of that, saying, hey, check out the heartwarming story of me coaching my kids' youth football team. Like, that's weird. That's weird. Is this really important enough to make a movie about? Man, I guess Hollywood has a shortage of creative people. Holy Christ, I can't think of anything I'd like to watch less. Should have been Stiller. I mean, yeah, I can see that. I actually can see that. That does look like the right fit. How adorable. A family movie about a man relegated to coaching sixth graders because he tried to get his team to kill other people. So really, I don't understand why this movie is being greenlit by Netflix. Well, rather, it's being greenlit by Sean Payton for Netflix, according to the article. But, this is a movie that really doesn't have any place in the media sphere for me. I mean, I really could not see any situation where I would be interested in watching this, simply because there's not much in way of a real viable story about him coaching his kid's sixth grade football team as far as, mass media is concerned. And the entire premise of why he was actually in that position to begin with is one of him breaking rules, being selfish, and not, really, bringing any kind of accountability to the New Orleans Saints in regards to what his coaches were doing with their players. These guys were actually putting money out there to injure other players. So, this is like Bizarro World in that they have actually been able to strike a deal with Netflix and Adam Sandler's production company, no less, that will, back this film when it shouldn't really even exist. I don't know. That's just me. But let me know what you think. Leave your comments down below. Hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the Observant Lineman Uche Nwaneri if you haven't already done so. And if you have subscribed, think about becoming a member of the O-Line. I'm your Observant Lineman Uche Nwaneri. Appreciate you guys very much, and I will catch you on the next video. Peace.